Hello, friends. Welcome to my podcast, Knitting with You. My name is Brandy. You can find me on Instagram as Abby and Bella's mom. And if you're still using Ravelry, I am M. Weasley over there. How's everyone doing today? I hope you all are well. I hope your weather is good wherever you are. Here in Maine, where I live with my husband, my two daughters, and my mini dachshund Daisy, the temperature is currently, because I just checked, 83 degrees. And it's not as humid now as it was this morning. I decided to get up, not really early, more just like my usual time, unless I have to be to work early. And I put myself together and I went out to the vegetable garden to harvest the kale that we've been growing and do a little weeding. And it was quite humid this morning. And I just don't like humid weather. But I thought getting out in the morning would be better than later in the day because I just assumed it would be more humid this afternoon. And it's actually gone down quite a bit, or so my thermometer says. I don't know. But it is still quite warm out. 83 is quite warm, but more tolerable with the less humidity. Now, the weather report last night from one of our local channels showed Sunday it said it was going to be very humid, but Monday it said oppressive. That was not a word I wanted to hear from the weatherman. 90 degrees and oppressive. Whew. Thankfully, where I work, it's air conditioned. My home is air conditioned. So I shouldn't be too bad off. But wow, it's gonna be tough. Thankfully, my work day on Monday isn't going to be too terribly long, and hopefully it will go by quickly because it is going to be a very busy day. Oppressive. That's just not nice. So, what else have I been doing? I've talked about my gardening, where I live in Maine. If I forgot to say that, I live in Maine. I recorded this earlier, and per my usual, I deleted it. It was way too long. I'd like this one to be much shorter. I did go out just a bit ago to meet up with a friend from work on her lunch break so we could chat. She only works part-time and she's been on vacation, and the week before that I was on vacation, so we haven't really seen each other a whole lot, and it was nice to just go and sit at the picnic table and just have a nice conversation with her. So yeah, that's what I've been up to. A little gardening, a little weeding, a little chit chat with a friend. I have so much kale, it is crazy. The basket is packed and heaping. I've got to get it taken care of and into the freezer before it gets weird. So that will be what I do when I'm done chatting with you. I do have to say a big thank you to Rachel from So Ray Me. She mentioned me and my podcast in her most recent episode, and I was so surprised. I was not expecting that at all. We did a fabric scrap swap between the two of us, which I thought was fun. I had a lot of fun putting it together. I even, I told her I would send her some yarn bits, and I decided to put together a little little mini advent calendar for her, which I didn't tell her I was doing, but she was very surprised. So I hope once the holiday season is here, she enjoys what's in the little packages. But she did mention my videos on her episode, and I've had a significant increase in my followers. Nothing really to get too shook up about, but I'm pretty shook up because I was getting pretty discouraged there for a while. But seeing so many new people subscribing and watching my videos is really good incentive for me to keep sitting down in front of the camera to chat with you. So thank you very much to all of you who have watched my videos and sent me messages and have subscribed. I hope today's episode will not disappoint you. So I have some works in progress to share with you today, a couple of finished objects, and once again I'll be sharing with you some new things that have come in the mail to me since all this COVID stuff has happened. And I think I mentioned before, it totally killed my yarn diet, canceled all the fun festivals. So I've just been doing my best to support as many businesses as I can and feeding my yarn habit. Okay, so let's get right into things. What do I have for works in progress to share with you today? I have been making, and actually one of them is a work in progress and one of them is a finished object, but I'll show you the finished object when I get to that section. But it's the same pattern. So this is the first one I want to share with you. This is the Wrist Ticklers pattern from Kay Jones of the Bakery Bears. I believe this was a free pattern. If you still use Ravelry, if you've gotten yours reset to the classic look, if the new look was bugging you, you could go check out her pattern shop and find it there. I know she also lists her patterns on, I think it's called Love Crafts, so you could check there as well. I'm not a fan of the new Ravelry look. I did their survey and told them what I thought of it. I have reset mine to the classic look, and it has remained on the classic mode since I reset it. If you don't know how to reset yours, I believe it's either under your profile, I think that's where it is, and you scroll down and you have the option there to reset to classic, and you just do that, and as far as I know it stays that way. Mine has. I know a lot of people are having serious problems with the new Ravelry look and the fact that they're not really doing much to change it. So, yikes. Anyway, so the Wrist Ticklers, I am using a new yarn that I got. I actually got this one quite a while ago now, but I've been saving it. I think I got the yarn before the Wrist Ticklers pattern came out, but as soon as the pattern did come out, I knew straight away that I wanted to use this yarn for them. And this pair is for me. The other pair that I'm going to show you in my finished objects is a gift. It's actually a Christmas gift because I have started my Christmas knitting and my Christmas shopping just a little bit. I like to do a little bit here and there so it's not so crazy when the holiday season does actually get here. So here is the first one. I haven't started the second one yet, but this is the first one, and the yarn is from Down Sheepy Lane, and these colorways are inspired by, I'm assuming, the show, but it is also a video game called The Witcher. But that's what these colors are inspired from. Aside from, pardon me, the silvery gray that I used for the two cuffs, I don't know the exact name of each color, well, except for one. The silvery gray is called the White Wolf, And I'm assuming this dark one here is Coal. And then the other colors are called Toss a Coin, Ciri, Yennefer, and Geralt of Rivia. So there were 5 10-gram minis and then the one 20-gram mini. And it's all Blueface Leicester Bamboo Blend. This is the little card that came with it. And I really like the way they came out, or this one so far. And I'll put it on to show you. I haven't, even on my finished objects that I'm going to show you today, I haven't woven in any of the ends. Sometimes I just let them all kind of build up, and then one evening while we're sitting watching television, I'll just sit and weave in all the ends, and that's fine. I really liked the length of these ones, although if they were a little shorter or a little longer, I don't think it would make that big of a deal. So this is it, just kind of on my wrist, and it does go up my arm quite a ways, I'd say halfway. And then I can pull it up just a little, just to kind of cover my palm like that. But there's even enough that I can pull it way up, like if I was out for a walk or something early in the morning or later in the evening, I could just pull it up and even just kind of pull my fingers down inside and keep them toasty warm. And this pattern is really nice because sometimes it's cool enough that you want something covering your hand, but maybe not a full mitten or gloves. So this is really nice. And it's, excuse me, it's an easy pattern. And it works up very quickly, whether you use minis or just little bits that you have left over, or if you use just one solid color all the way through, or self-striping. Whatever you have or want to get, it works up really quick, and I think this is a perfect gift knit for someone. All right, let's get that tucked out of the way. I do actually have another wrist tickler on the go, another work in progress on the go, but I'm tweaking it just a little bit, and I want to have more of it done before I show it to you, because I want to make sure it's going to come out exactly the way I'm envisioning it to come out. All right, so what else do I have on the go? I had mentioned this one before, but I had left the project bag in my craft room, so I didn't want to get up to go get it to show it to you. But this is a sweater that was supposed to be my Rhinebeck sweater. It's been hanging out in this fabulous bag from Matterroot. And the pattern that I am knitting, sorry, I'm trying to reach back here to grab this book off my chair, is from this fabulous Harry Potter Knitting Magic book. And the pattern that I am doing is this one. It's the Hogwarts House cardigan. And I have been sorted into, by 2 different Harry Potter sorting quizzes, I have been sorted into Ravenclaw. So the colors that I chose for my cardigan, I purchased yarn, because if you notice there were like house color stripes on the wrists and around the waist of the sweater. And I couldn't decide if I wanted to do the Ravenclaw colors that were in the book, which was a silver and like an amber. No, scratch that. It wasn't silver. The blue and the amber color, or if I wanted to go more with the silver and blue that's depicted in the films. I ended up going with the silver and blue because it's more in line with colors that I wear kind of on an everyday sort of basis, so it kind of goes more with my wardrobe than the blue and the amber. But that doesn't mean I can't use the amber for something else because I totally could. I think it would make a nice hat or something like for my husband, but we'll see. But anyway, this is how far I've gotten so far, which isn't very far. I have my first stripes for the waist. This is just the back. It is knit in pieces and then you have to sew them together. I'm pretty sure I'm knitting to gauge. I did do a gauge swatch, so hopefully this is in line with that. I don't remember which size I'm knitting right off the top of my head because I haven't really picked this up to work on in quite a while. Kind of since we found out Rhinebeck was canceled. But I do want to finish it because I think it's going to be nice and cozy for when it does get cold in the winter. I am knitting one of the bigger sizes. I think not the biggest, but one of the bigger ones just because I'm not a small person. And I don't like my sweaters to be fitted. I want some positive ease. It's just more comfortable because obviously, especially with a cardigan, I have a shirt on under it. So that's another work in progress. Excuse me, I need a sip of tea. All right, my next work in progress. I kind of, the other day, well, not the other day, I think it was probably a week or so ago, I just had this urge to cast stuff on. And I ended up casting on 2 shawls. I'm going to show you one of them today, just because the other one, literally all I've done is the garter tab cast on with help from Kay Jones and one of her tutorials, because that can be a touchy cast on for some. At least for me, the last time I did one, it came out very tight, but her tutorial was very helpful. But when that's farther along, I'll definitely show it to you. The other one that I am going to show you is the Hug Shot. Is that what it's called? Yep, the Hug Shot Shawl by Casapinka. One of the ladies that I had planned to go to Rhinebeck with gifted me this pattern. It's black and white because I printed it off at work. I'm pretty sure though, like if you went to her Casapinka on Instagram, oh, it's a weird little bug, you could probably see a colored photo of this. I know the one I saw, this one in color, is very bright. I'm pretty sure there's like a neon pink in there. But neons really aren't my jam, so I don't mind a little bit of neon, but, sorry, there's like a weird little bug flying around here. Last thing I want to do is inhale it. So I'm not a super huge fan of neon. A little is okay, but the yarn that I am making mine out of, and I'll just show you my progress so far, which isn't a lot, and then I'll show you the cakes of yarn. This is it. I hope this is coming through okay, color-wise. They're very subtle. One of the yarns is just an undyed skein, and then the other one has some color to it. But that's as far as I've gotten. Not far. Mainly because I've been, like, I had the urge to cast these shawls on, and then I was like, oh my goodness, I still have these other things that I want to work on and finish. Plus, when I'm just sitting watching television, I kind of want something that's a little less patterned to work on. So the wrist ticklers and some vanilla socks are always good. So the yarn I'm using is from my local yarn shop. This is the Ball Band, Main Yarn and Fiber Supply, otherwise known as One Lupin. And this is her Eastport base, which is, it's a 2-ply fingering, and it is 80% merino, 20% silk, and each skein has 430 yards. And like I said, one cake, these yarns are a little unruly at the moment, just from getting all twisted up. One is just undyed, And I went into the shop to find a color because the other skein, the colored one that I'm going to show you, I've had in my stash for a bit. And I needed something to go with it to make the shawl. And I just had to find the right thing to go with it. And I was toying with a couple of other like colors. And then as soon as I held it up to just the undyed, it just popped. And I said, yep, that's what I need. So here is the dyed one. I bought this at the shop when they still kind of had it on the table and they were prepping it to go on the wall of the shop's in-house dyed yarn. And so I didn't get a ball band with a name on it. I know it does have a name. I just bought it too quickly for them to write the name on it on the ball band. But here are the colors, which I hope are coming through okay. When I recorded this morning, it was so bright in my living room that I had to pull the shade down a little bit, and I just forgot to put it back up. But it's got the creamy natural base color, and then kind of a lavender purpley blue, and then like a brownish, and I feel like it might have some subtle gray in it too, just because of the blue, the purpley blue. So yeah, there's that for the shawl. And hopefully I'll be able to get back to this soon. But I know we all have those moments where we just have to cast on like a million things, and then some of them do end up sitting idle for a bit. That's okay. It satisfies our cast on urge. So these are hanging out in a bag that I did get a while ago, but I haven't had the right project for it yet, just because it's a little bigger than just like a sock size bag, but it is perfect for this 2 skein shawl project. Isn't this super sweet? This is from, there we go, Jill, who is Birdie and Poppet. And it's just a fabulous English country village fabric. And I just thought it was super sweet. And I really do like her bags. I have, I think I have one other project bag and a Notions pouch from her as well. I think the Notions pouch is actually right in here. But, all right. Whoops. Forgot to put the ball band back in the bag. All right, I'm just looking down at my notes to make sure I stay on track with what all I want to show you. Hug shot, wrist ticklers. Okay, the final work in progress that I want to share with you today. I just cast these on last night because something came off my needles last night, and I will show you that in just a minute. But I balled up, and that was kind of funny. I balled up a skein of yarn that I had purchased not too long ago from an online shop called Hot Yarns. They have really good prices on things like Opal and Regia yarns. They also do Osterman Step. They do Zabber balls. They have a bunch of different yarns, but their prices on Regia and Opal are really, really good. So that tends to be where I go first to get them. So I picked up a couple colors to knit socks for my husband, and this was one of them that I decided last night I was going to start. So this is Beautiful World, and on the back it also says Beautiful World, and I don't know if they just gave this particular colorway that name, or if it's just got the number. So there's that. And I sometimes like to wind yarn by hand as opposed to using my ball winder in Swift. And I do have a Nostipina that my husband gave me a couple of years ago for Christmas, but I don't know, for some reason I just said, I wasn't going to use it. I was just going to use my thumb because Danny from Little Bobbins, whose episodes I've been rewatching for, I don't know, probably the 4th or 5th time, was just recently on one of the ones I was watching recently, talking about how she winds yarn on her thumb. And I thought, I'm going to give that a go. And it's very similar. It's kind of the same way you would wind it with a Nosta Pina. You're just using your thumb. I'm not going to use my thumb again. It wasn't difficult, and I think my ball came out semi-neat. There are parts that look really neat, and then there are parts that kind of look a little crazy. It did give me a center pull. I think I wound some of my hair in there. It did give me a center pull for my yarn, which is fine. I don't care either way to go. But when I was winding it and kind of like turning the yarn while it was on my thumb, it got really tight on my thumb, and I could feel it starting to cut the circulation off. And even that wasn't horribly uncomfortable, but when I was done and I went to hopefully pop it off, it wouldn't pop off because the yarn was wrapped around my thumb really tight. So I tried twisting it in the other direction to see if that would loosen it, and it did just a little. So finally I just had to pull my thumb out, and it just pulled some of the yarn out, which is fine. I was going to do that anyway to start my cast on. And I have literally just started these. As you can see, I only have a few rows, or a couple of rows done. Just 68 stitches, 2x2 rib. I will increase to 72 stitches when I'm done with the ribbing, because that's what I found works best for my husband. I am going to use this navy. This is a Knit Pick Stroll, and I thought it went well with the yarn. I'm going to use this for the heels and toes. That way if either spot wears out, I can darn it with this, or I can cut it out and re-knit it. So there's that. For another work in progress, these are going to be a Christmas present. So I'm ahead of the game because technically I did start these in July because I started them last night, and August isn't until tomorrow. But still, my goodness, tomorrow is August 1st. Can you believe that? Summer has flown by so quickly. All right, that is all of my works in progress today. I do have just a couple of finished objects to share with you. The first one, again, is the Wrist Tickler pattern from Kay Jones. And these are a Christmas gift for someone. This was the first pair I knit, and they worked up super fast. I used the last bits of the Felici Baker Street colorway. Actually, it's not the last bit. I used 2 50-gram skeins to knit the socks for my husband, but I didn't use all of each 50-gram skein because I did contrasting heels and toes, so there were small amounts from the 2 skeins left over, and that's what I used to knit these. I also used the gray Knit Pick Stroll that I did the toes of my husband's socks with for the 2 cuffs, and I just knit the middle until I was out of the, each one took one of the balls of Felici. I can show you that these ones are shorter than the ones for myself with the Witcher yarn, but they're still a good length. They're still going to, I guess, do what they're intended to do. which is, keep your wrist warm or pull up over your fingers. The person they're intended to, I think, well, she doesn't have long fingernails. I don't know if her fingers are shorter than mine, but these will still do what they're intended to do. And again, I still have to weave in ends. So that is finished object number 1. I'm really proud of myself to have my Christmas knitting on the go already. Last season was really enjoyable because I did everything in such a way that I wasn't trying to cram it all in at the last minute. As far as like all the things I was making, whether it was knitting, sewing, crocheting, baking, I did a little bit each day with some of the things, and it just made for a very smooth, very enjoyable holiday season. And that's my goal for this year as well. The other finished object to show you, which is the one that just came off my needles last night, and I have one of them, it's a pair of socks. Let me start by saying that. And I have one of them on a sock blocker and the other one is not. I have 2 pair of sock blockers, and the one that I have right now with the sock, I like the size of it, like it's not too wide, but there's a part of it that I don't like because I'm always worried that it's going to snag the wool. And the other one, these ones that I'm worried about snagging the wool are from Knit Picks, and it was the first set of sock blockers that I bought. The second pair that I'm not using today are the metal frame ones where it's just kind of an outline. Those ones are good because they're so open that there's nothing getting in the way of air passing through to dry the wool. And I don't mind them so much for my husband's socks, just because there are more stitches around the cuff. But for myself and my girls, I feel like it stretches the cuff out too much, and I don't like that. So I don't generally block my socks. I know some knitters do and some don't. I'm kind of a don't. Although once in a blue moon, if it's a gift and if the yarn has been, looks particularly crinkled, I will take the time to block them. But here is the finished sock. I do have both of them. Okay. They are both finished, aside from ends being woven in. This is the yarn I told you about before that tried to elude me for months. It did elude me for months, and then I found it. Although now I can't find the ball. Excuse me. Now I can't find the ball band, so I can tell you more about it. Where did it go? Oh, I think I found it. It's like stuck under something. Nope, that was something else I wanted to show you. Anyway, that's too funny. This yarn is from Regia. This is one of the Arnie and Carlos colorways. I don't know if it was like their first series or second. I'm not 100% sure. I first saw this yarn knitted up on a podcast episode from Susan B. Anderson a few years ago, and she had knit them pretty much exactly like this with the contrasting toe, heel, and cuff, and I just thought they were amazing and knew that I needed to get this yarn so that I could knit a pair just like Susan's. I don't know that this colorway has a name, but the number is 3657. And if you were to know my best friend and you asked her about the elusive Arnie and Carlos yarn, she would say, oh yeah, I know which one that is, 3657. She was usually with me when I was searching for this yarn in all the knit shops in the state of Maine that we went to. But these sock blockers, they're okay, but I don't know if you can hear that, but this edge right here is kind of rough. And I always worry when I'm pulling the sock on and off, it kind of catches. I can feel it catching. And I don't like that. So, but you know, they come in handy in a pinch. I need to get some pretty ones, some pretty wooden ones. And I've looked at different ones that I've seen other knitters show on their podcasts. And I just haven't quite found the ones that I like. I mean, I like a lot of them, but I don't know. There's just going to be one out there that's going to jump out at me and I'll get them. Okay, one more finished object to share with you. And it's mostly finished. Like all the other things, ends need to be woven in. It does need to be blocked because the yarn has curled a little bit. And it also needs tassels, but those aren't, it only needs 3 and they're small. So it's not going to take very long. But this is a pattern that I can highly recommend for a gift knit because it works up so fast. This took no time at all to knit, and it was an enjoyable knit, so it made, all knits are enjoyable. They really are. But this one was just kind of like stripy socks. You just wanted to keep going and watch it grow. So this is, oops, sorry for the glare. This is the Hat Dana by Denise Bayron. That's her in the middle, if you don't already know. She's absolutely beautiful. And the Hat Dana can be worn, as the ladies are showing in this particular picture, as like a cowl, but you can also wear it, sounds like bandana, you can wear it on your head like a bandana, like a hat dana. And Denise shows, there's some more pictures of her wearing it, and she's actually kind of got it on more upside down, and she's got her beautiful hair all pulled up in it. It looks amazing. I couldn't pull that off if I wanted to, which I would want to, but I don't have enough hair for that. So this one, once I do get it all finished, I think I'm going to gift it to my mom. I just don't know if I'm going to give it to her for her birthday, which is in August, or if I'm going to hold on to it till Christmas. My sister and I did get something for my mom together that she was asking for her birthday, and we kind of made it like a family gift from everybody. And I do have a crochet book for her that I'm going to give her. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to give her this for her birthday or wait till Christmas. It'll be a last minute decision, but this is it so far. Again, it hasn't been blocked, and it's really trying to curl up, so it's not showing as well as it should. But there's this beautiful cable running down the middle with like some eyelet holes on either side. And then the yarn is just, in my opinion, gorgeous. So the yarn is, well, this project got to hang out in another fairly new to me bag. I don't know if I've shown you this one, but this is one of my bags from Rachel Sew Me. I also got this cute little keychain, says #maker, and then her fabulous little lady pin. That was a surprise in the Christmas mystery box. It was actually a new item for her shop, and the people that ordered and received her Christmas mystery boxes were the first ones to get the pin. Oh, I had to message her straight away and tell her how excited I was, and then I had to keep it secret. That was fine. I'm good with secrets. All right, so the yarn, again, from my local yarn shop. I am all about supporting local. This is her Kennebec base, which is a 3-ply DK, and this one happens to be 85% Polworth, 15% silk, and this colorway is called Bonbon. And I have quite a bit of it left, even though I do know I need to make some tassels. Tassels aren't going to take that much yarn, but look, that's what I have left. I didn't weigh it, but there's still quite a bit here. This yarn is a DK, and the pattern I believe calls for a worsted, but I did not, there's a schematic with measurements for the finished item, and mine was like spot on. Even though it hasn't been blocked, and I'm pretty sure the schematic's probably for blocked item. So mine might end up being just a tiny bit bigger. I'm not an aggressive blocker with most things, and I won't be with this. I mostly want to block it so that the yarn is going to lay flat where it's supposed to. And just overall just kind of neaten it up. So I can't imagine that it's going to grow too much, but I'm pretty sure my mom's really going to like this. She has really long white hair, so this will look really pretty with that if she chooses to wear it on her head, but I know she'll also like it to wear around her neck. All right. So that's in that bag. I was just thinking as I was showing you the cake of Bonbon yarn that I have left, I meant to share with you these socks. With our foot size, and I know I've said this before, I can knit with contrasting heels, cuffs, and toes. I can knit a full pair of socks out of a 50-gram skein. And it's not just the Regia, it's pretty much any yarn, 50 grams with contrasting parts. I can get a full pair for myself or my girls. And I did do that again with this. And I did measure the little bit that I had left over, which I can't seem to find now because I've shifted stuff around. But I did measure, I did weigh it on my little mini scale. I had 3.88 grams left. So I can hang on to it in case of darning. I can put it into another project, whatever. It's there, and I have 2 more skeins of 3657 that I can make more socks with or something else. We'll have to wait and see. All right, so that is it for finished objects today, or pretty much just finished objects. I don't have any others at the moment. I do have a sewing project that is almost finished, but I don't know if I'm going to show it to you. I'm not displeased with it, but it's not perfect. And I know it doesn't have to be, and my husband likes it. He really does. But we'll see. Maybe I'll show it to you next time. It's just a quilted stereo cover for his stereo that he has out in the garage. He doesn't want it to get like dusty and dirty while it sits out there. So I said I would make him a cover, and I did squares from sports team fabric for New England sports teams, Patriots, Red Sox, Celtics. I tried to find Boston Bruins, but my local Joann Fabrics period, they didn't have it in stock. So I gave him a Bruins coffee mug for Father's Day to kind of make up for the lack of fabric. So maybe I'll show that to you next time. All right, some new to me things. I've purchased a lot of things over the past few months, and I'm just showing you little snippets of them with each episode in no particular order of when I bought them or when they came, because some things come quicker than others depending on whether I'm ordering from here in the United States or if I'm ordering from the United Kingdom. So the first thing I'm going to show you, because I'm sitting here playing with it, I actually ordered these over a month ago on Amazon, and they finally arrived earlier this week, and I think they're going to work really great. I ordered these little things. They're little, like, they look like a mini clothespin, sort of, but they are for clipping your fabric when you, instead of pins, you use these little things. And again, they took forever to show up. I think I must have ordered a package of 100. I don't remember, but I used my husband's Amazon Prime, so he opened the package when it arrived, and he was kind of thrown off. He didn't know what they were, but there were 2 of these bags. Look at all of them. There's so many. And they're all in kind of bright and pastel-y colors. Sorry, that's very crinkly. I just need to find something different to keep them in, because these little plastic crinkly bags are not going to work. So yeah, I think those are going to be fun to use. And I've always used pins, and I don't have a problem with pins until I keep getting stuck repeatedly by them. So I just thought it would be fun to give these a whirl. Some other new to me things, pardon me while I get another sip of tea. Some other new to me things, I have some yarn. This one was a pre-order. I think I pre-ordered it, well, I know I first saw it on Instagram stories for the Grocery Girls. They were all excited about it, and I immediately went over to the Yarn Dyers website, and there were still pre-order slots available for it. I did get the sport weight. I did not get the fingering weight because those pre-orders were all filled, but that's fine. I do not mind a pair of sport weight socks. They're actually quite nice for around the house. I like to be cozy and warm. And even this time of year, I find myself wearing my hand knit socks because the air conditioning is on and we have laminate, like Pergo flooring throughout our house and tile. The floors can be cold, and I don't want to be cold. So I think this is going to make some really pretty socks. Might possibly make something else. I'm not sure. There are 328 yards here. So who knows? We'll see. But this is yarn from Lola Bean Yarn Co. There is her fabulous little label with her daughter on it. And this colorway is called The City's So Nice They Named It Twice. And it's just so bright and vibrant. And it does have some neon in it. And I know I've said I'm not a super huge fan of neon, but this is, I don't feel like this is like boom in your face neon. I knit a pair of socks for a friend who sadly passed away recently. But I knit him a pair of socks. He loved that electric green colorway. Pardon me. If any of you know American football and the colors for the Seattle Seahawks, which is navy blue and that electric green, those are the colors I knit him socks out of. It was kind of, I did like the stripes in the cuff, and I don't remember if I did the green in the heels and toes or just one of them, but whew, that was some bright yarn to knit with. I couldn't do that all the time. It would hurt my eyes. I'd need sunglasses. But this is just right. There's enough other beautiful colors going on that I know the neons are just, I'm not even going to notice them. So these are going to make some great socks. When I get to knitting them, I don't know. I'm not in any huge rush. I simply love having beautiful yarns in my stash. What they become comes to me all in good time. All right, this other yarn that I bought, I was on Instagram and I noticed, and I purchased from this yarn dyer before, and I noticed she had some beautiful colors going into her shop. I think she might have been mentioning a sale as well, and this one skein that I purchased, the full skein, was on sale. Oh, but my goodness, if it had been regular price, I still would have bought it. It is beautiful, and it is a BFL silk blend, which is so soft. Oh my goodness. Look at that. This is from Hedgerow Yarns, as you can see on the ball band. And I believe this is a one-of-a-kind colorway. She calls this one single batch colorway number 24. But these colors are so beautiful. I absolutely love them. And this is definitely going to be a cowl or a shawl because it's so soft. It just has to be up around my neck this winter. Jane, who is the dyer for Hedgerow Yarns, is so good with packaging. When you order from her, your yarns are wrapped in tissue paper, and then she puts a pretty printed tissue paper outside of that, and she ties it off with a pretty bow, and she includes a little lavender sachet so your yarn smells good, and then you can put the sachet into a project bag to keep your knitting smelling wonderful. But this time when I ordered, there was also tied to the little package this sweet little mini skein. I mean, it's not the same yarn as this, but look at that. Isn't that pretty? I'm guessing it's probably, it's got to be 5 or, no, it must be 10 grams. I'm going to say 10 grams because the other thing that I ordered from her was this cute little 10-gram mini set. And like, see, this just, boop, fits in nicely. So those are going to be fun to add to my growing collection of minis. All right, set that down with a little crinkle as possible. The last new to me thing that I want to share with you today is some fabric that I purchased from Rachel's Etsy shop. Rachel is SewRayMe, and she has started selling fabric in her shop. And I think I was just over the moon for that because she picks out some beautiful fabrics that I don't think I could find here in the United States. Maybe I could, but that's all right. Supporting. But she put together different combinations of fabrics that you could buy as like a set, or you could buy them individually. And I think she started them off in 1/2 meter lengths, and then you could go up from there. I think I ordered 1/2 meter lengths for this set, and I don't have a project quite in mind yet. I don't know if I'll make a project bag. I'm leaning more toward some sort of lap quilt, and I am very much interested in learning how to do English paper piecing. I did just watch a tutorial video from Jules of So Sweet Violet, and it was a really good video. We're about to have company. That little clackety noise is my dog's claws. I have her in for a mani-pedi next week, but that was as soon as they could get her in. So she's a little noisy on the floors. Anyway, so here's the fabrics that I ordered from Rachel. She put the colors together so well. And there isn't anything I don't love about this combination. They are so pretty. All right. Hi, you. More visitors. What are you doing?
I'm trying to avoid the camera.
Well, just walk close by the television. You won't get in it, I promise. All right. I did have one other finished object that I wanted to share with you that I totally forgot until just now when I mentioned jewels. This is a gift for a family member whose birthday is coming soon. I am knitting, or I knit. I do plan to make more of these. But this is the Miraculous Soap Mitt. And I think I showed this before. It might have been a work in progress at that point, but it is now finished. The only thing I had to do a little differently was the cord to go in here for cinching up. I used Quince & Co. Sparrow, which is a linen, and I could not make the I-cord work with the linen. I tried at least 4 times. It started out nice and neat, and as I continued to knit, the front, the part that was facing me, looked neat, but when I would pause and look at the back of it, the stitches were all very kind of loose and open, and I was not happy with it, and it didn't improve with trying to get it to work multiple times. So I just finally gave up and decided just to do a braid. So I just took some strands of the linen and braided them together. A little improvising. But yeah. And the recipient doesn't watch my episodes, so she's not going to know. And I think even if she did know, I don't think she would mind. I think she would hopefully just be happy with the finished item. The brownish yarn that I'm using is from my local yarn shop. It's not one of her yarns. It was a cotton flax that she was carrying. I don't know if she's going to keep carrying it. I think I might have bought this out of one of the sale bins. But this is a ball band. It's a Starry, and it's a cotton flax blend. And I think it's worked up very nicely, and I still have quite a bit left to make some more soap mitts, which I do plan to do because it's another item that's a perfect gift knit. All right, so I just have 2 more things that I want to share with you today. One of them is a new to me podcast that I've been watching. And that is the Stitched by Mrs. D podcast. Her name is Paula, and she does live in England. I can't remember where exactly. She does mention it in each of her episodes. I've just forgotten. But yeah, I think she's got 10 or so episodes out, and I watched Sorry. She thinks the postman is here, but he's not here yet. There's just activity in the kitchen, and it throws her off sometimes. She's 14. She doesn't hear as well as she used to. She gets confused easily. My apologies. You're all right, Daisy. Anyway, as I was saying, Paula, who is Stitched by Mrs. D. I think she has about 10 episodes out. I watched episode number 10. That was the first one I watched. It popped up in my YouTube feed. And I thought I would give it a go to see, because I'm always up for new knitting podcasts. And I really liked it. So I went back to episode number 1, and I've just been working my way through them. I think I've definitely watched the first 6, possibly 7, but I might only be partway through the 7th one. I can't remember. But she's very enjoyable to watch. And the last thing that I want to share with you is a knit along that actually starts tomorrow. It is being hosted by Anna, who is Skeins in the Stacks on Instagram. I started following Anna, gosh, a while ago. Danny from Little Bobbins mentioned her in one of her episodes, and I went over and liked what I saw and started to follow her. And she recently posted that she was doing this knit along. The hashtag for it is going to be Myrtle Bear and Friends knit along, and you have to knit patterns from Cynthia Valle. Her patterns are on Ravelry. I think the one that most people are familiar with right now is Bunny O'Deal. That's the first one I saw, and I fell in love with her and knew that I had to knit her for myself. So this is Bunny O'Deal. She's naked in this picture. But when you buy the pattern, you actually get the pattern to knit the bunny and patterns for her little clothes. And there are different things. Like, for example, there are pajamas. And I'm pretty sure there's a sweater dress, a sweater, and a pair of socks as well, that all come together when you buy the bunny pattern. So Anna is hosting this knit along. I also ordered some yarn from her the other evening. She had a small update, and I got both sets of the minis that she was offering because I thought they would go well with the yarn that I had already purchased a couple of weeks ago for making Bunny O'Deal. So there'll be the yarns from Anna will be pretty accents and coordinating colors to the yarns that I've already bought. The knit along starts tomorrow, and I believe I know it runs all the way through August. I can't remember if it goes into September or not, but if you look back at some of her posts on Instagram, she has all the details there if you want to join in. And I think tomorrow she is doing an Instagram live with the Net Loft, which is also in Alaska. That's where Anna lives. She lives in Alaska. But the timing, she's doing it at like 10 o'clock in the morning Alaska time. But sadly, I have to work. And even with the time difference, I will still be at work, so I won't get to watch it live. Hopefully it will still be on my feed, and maybe I can watch it afterward. But we'll have to wait and see. But I am going to get everything that I have so far ready into a project bag so I can get that started tomorrow. In fact, when I'm done recording, I have to go to my local knit shop and get some more needles so that I have them ready to go. All right, well, I think that about does it for today. I hope you've stuck with me. I have gone a little longer than last time, but only just. I want to say thank you if I didn't do it at the beginning. Thank you to all of my new subscribers that have subscribed to my channel. Thank you very much. It's definitely incentive to sit down more frequently, to chat and share my knitting with you. If you have any questions about any of the things that I've talked about or shown today, please feel free to ask me a question in the comments section below, or you can send me a message on Instagram and I will get back to you as quickly as I can. I have enjoyed the comments that have been left here on YouTube about my previous episodes. That's very kind of you to take the time, not only to watch, but to leave a nice comment. So thank you very much. Yeah, so I have had a good time sitting down chatting with you today. Hopefully I will be able to do it again soon. I don't know exactly when. My days off vary during the week, from week to week, and I never know what else I might have going on, but I will do my best. Somebody's got to put her 2 cents in too. But anyway, thank you so much for spending time with me. If you have liked it and you want to see more, that would be great. I will do my best to keep giving you good content. If you want to give me a thumbs up and subscribe, that would be awesome. Thank you so much, friends. Have a great day and have fun with your knitting. Bye.